Okay, so I'm Lexi Chandler.
I'm Taylor Barron.
And this is the toxicology effects of sodium hypochlorite on Daphnia. Sorry, can't read. So, our abstract. The purpose of our experiment was to observe the LC50 levels of the chemical sodium hypochlorite on the organism Daphnia. Sodium hypochlorite is just regular household bleach. Most people have it in their houses. And then Daphnia are regular freshwater water fleas. Why did we conduct this experiment? We wanted to see how effective bleach is on removing bacteria, and we also wanted to identify at what point half of the organisms will die. We found deaths very high, even at very low concentrations. So our introduction. Prior knowledge of this household cleaner is that it is used for sanitation, and side effects to this are burning of skin, blistering, and it puts holes in clothes, etc. So with knowing this, how safe is it? Our original hypothesis was 20% to 30% concentration of bleach will kill 50% of the Daphnia. So our materials and methods used. We used 5 petri dishes which were labeled according to concentrations, and initially we had 0%, which was our control, 5%, 10%, 15%, and 20%. But we changed these after our first test. Next, we collected the Daphnia to conduct the experiment using a small pipette, and in each petri dish we put around 10 to be tested. Then we've created our first mixture, which was a diluted substance of bleach and water, fresh water, that was 5 milliliters. And we had to go back later and change the concentration levels, because at 5% of the first test, all of our Daphnia had died instantly. As we figured out the new levels, we did our first trial again, and we used the 0% control, 0.039%, 0.42%, no, 0.042%, 0.05%, and then the initial 5% again. And we then measured the total alive after 5 minutes, and then again after 10 minutes, and that will be discussed further in the results.
Okay, so we have a graph that shows how many Daphnia were alive after 5 minutes and how many after 10, and at the bottom it has the amount of bleach that was added to each mixture. Our control, obviously, after 5 and 10 minutes, all of the Daphnia were still alive. But then at our very lowest, which is the lowest possible measurement that we could do, 0.039, over half of them were already dead. So we couldn't figure out what the LC50 was because we didn't have anything smaller to measure, so we just know it's less than 0.39%. Our very original, that was supposed to be our lowest, was 0.3 milliliters of bleach, and as soon as they came in contact, all of them died within seconds. Some things to note about the Daphnia was that after we researched them, we found that they were very susceptible to death. Even if their environment changes just a little bit, they're actually used in some cases to detect contaminants in water sources. They'll bring them in and put them in the water and see how many are dying to try and detect if contaminants are existent. So we didn't know if those are necessarily a good organism to use to see that, because they are so susceptible to death even with such low levels. As before, the LC50 we could not calculate. We just know it's less than 0.39% of bleach, which is very low. And then also something notable is that since bleach is used to kill bacteria in hospitals and schools, it is very effective because if it's killing organisms that are larger than bacteria, then obviously it's going to kill almost all the bacteria present. And then this is a picture of the Daphnia and our works cited. Does anyone have any questions? Yes.
What concentration of bleach did you use? I didn't know if you said that or not.
We used the 3 different concentrations. It ended up being originally we started off with the Our first concentration being the 0.3 milliliters.
Oh.
And that being too much, we went down to the 0.039 milliliters, the 0.042 milliliters, and then the 0.05.
And that's like after the bleach was already diluted, because obviously you're not going to use like straight bleach in a cleaner, but so we don't really know exactly what it was since it's already been diluted.
So you think Daphnia are more or less susceptible than other aquatic organisms?
I think they're more, especially since like after we looked them up, like they are used to detect that kind of stuff. So obviously they're looking for an organism that is like easily manipulated by its environment. So. And
But maybe compared to the microworms, what would you say? Which would be more sensitive? Not that you did microworms, but.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I'm not sure which one would be more susceptible.
And I feel as if the Daphnia were, because literally like as soon as we added the bleach, they were dying. Like it was within seconds of that happening. And like, I don't know how relatable like bleach is to some of the other contaminants, but like it was such a low level compared to some of the other like LC50s that were able to be measured.
You think bleach is too dangerous for people to use at home? I mean, everybody does it, but
I don't think so.
I think it's good because showing like this shows you that it does kill the bacteria. So if you want to kill the bad bacteria, then obviously bleach is a good way to kill it.
anyone else have any questions? Thank you very much.